I think with the Chiefs, you either have to say they're going to be better or they're going to be worse, but you can't say they're the same because they're not, because Tyreek Hill is no longer on the team. And they're shifting what they want to do offensively, at least a little bit. I think by all accounts, they got pretty spooked by how defenses were just playing them last year and just kind of daring them to run the ball. And they weren't really equipped to run the ball. That Hill couldn't really block. Kelsey can't really block. And they just, Cincinnati and a couple other teams definitely stumbled on some sort of recipe that they have now fixed. I am planting my flag on the KC will be better real estate. I said this on Tuesday's pod. The offensive line, which basically it's the first full year together, but for the most part, they're together. They invested heavily in it. They struck oil with their center that they drafted, and they've just
Creed.
They either have the best offensive line in the league or the second best offensive line. And for me, Mahomes plus time is the scariest thing in the league. And I don't really care who his receivers are, because if he has 3 to 5 to 7 seconds to throw every play, guys are going to get open and he's going to find them. And there's also a little bit of that whole just incredibly embarrassing playoff loss. Mm-hmm. There's some Burrow Herbert buzz.
Mm-hmm. Josh Allen.
The little Josh Allen. There's a little bit of the Rocky IV running around on the mountain, trying to see how high you can go with the parka on to the Mahomes season. I'm all in. I'm going to pick them to win the Super Bowl, and that's my team.
This is the stuff that Kansas City Chiefs fans have been looking for, because Bill, I'm in the same boat, and I'm planting my flag.
We never talked about this.
We did not talk
aligned on this.
I almost don't like the fact that you did all that spiel, because that would have been my spiel, and I'll go even further with it. Like, Mahomes is a different cat, and I've gotten to know him a little bit. And this offseason, I spent some time in Kansas City, and like whatever. This guy watches everything. And when I say watches everything, I mean, he watches what people say. He watches how teams are reacting, how other teams are responding. But he's taking notes on all this. And there have been analysts out there who have said that the Chiefs are going to be the 4th place team in the AFC West. There have been others who have crowned Josh Allen as already, the top player in the league. And like, Mahomes has been sitting back there and waiting and watching. And this room of wide receivers is not Tyreek Hill. It is a variety of guys. And Juju, prior to the injury, he'll be fine, has looked amazing as a number 1 guy. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who, quite frankly, Rodgers lost trust in because he wasn't running the right routes at times. He wasn't always there. Like, Mahomes, different type of person in the huddle. I think that's going to work. Sky Moore, the rookie, excellent so far. Justin Watson out of the University of Pennsylvania, who came
fantasy sleeper.
Justin Watson, who wears number 84, has been a beast in practice. And then you add all the different big men at tight end with Kelsey and Fortson and Noah Gray. Like, there are weapons. And Pacheco, number 10, the new running back from Rutgers, like, awesome. This is the type of team that everyone's going to discount and say, well, is this the year they fall off a cliff? And like, Mahomes isn't going to let it happen. And I trust Mahomes and Andy Reid, and maybe I trust them to a fault, but all the reasons you said, and they might have the best young defenders in Nick Bolton at number 54, who's right there playing the linebacker spot, their 2nd round pick last year. And they believe that they've got, in L'Jarius Sneed and 32, the safety, they've got a great young defensive backfield. Everyone's reaction was, how could you not sign the Honey Badger? And there's a reason they don't re-sign the Honey Badger. They think that they've got
Frank Clark comeback year.
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones playing in the right spot for the whole season.
I'm telling you, like, they are very bullish on themselves in that building, but not in a boastful way, but just that, like, yeah, you guys talk about Tyreek all you want, and good luck to Tyreek, but all that stuff, they've been stacking the chips, and I feel like you've seen it in the preseason games. They're lights out, and I know it's just preseason, but Mahomes doesn't have to play in these games. I think there's a bit of him and Andy wanting to show the world, like, all right, doubt us. You should doubt us. Go for it. And I'm not going to be one of those people to do that.
Who's had the most wins the last 9 years?
Chiefs.
103. The Pats had 103. Obviously, Brady responsible to a lot of them. Seattle, 94. Green Bay, 92. Pittsburgh, 91. New Orleans, 90. Those are the only teams that have averaged 10 wins a game for the last 9 years. KC, the Tyreek thing, I think threw people off. Kyle, turn the TikTok camera on. Not the real camera. Turn the little TikTok camera on.
Camera.
I think there's a lot of Curry 2022 Warriors parallels here.
Talk about
where it's like, in a way, this team makes more sense for Mahomes, the same way that 22 Warriors, just building it around him and just all these guys who know how to play with him. I love Tyreek Hill for the Chiefs. I respected him. I feared him. I thought he was one of the most incredible deep threats. He terrified teams. He tilted the field.
He won games. He won games. Single-handedly. He won games. The Chargers Thursday night game, he won that game.
A muscle results guy. You know, he played 3 playoff games last year, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns. He, in the regular season, 1,239 yards, 9 touchdowns. You can replace 80 to 90% of those stats. If I'm the Chiefs, I would much rather have the money on the offensive line and protect Mahomes and give him time, and I can find receivers. We're in like the receiver boom of all time right now. Can find receivers and running backs all over the place. And I think that's I just like how they tilted the structure, how now they're going to run the ball more, which is going to make it a little easier for Mahomes to find seams downfield versus the way it was before. And I'm in. I think this is the best team.
The communication lines in that building are wide open. So anyone can walk into anyone's office and it's a very open place. And I will tell you that Patrick Mahomes was not shocked when they traded Tyreek Hill. Patrick Mahomes was not finding it out from a tweet. Patrick Mahomes was not finding it out from a bottom line ticker. So I assume there were conversations had and like, hey, here's our plan. Just so you know, this is what we're doing. And I'm sure Mahomes was like, gosh, that sucks. Like,
yeah, we'll be
my guy.
Yeah, but we'll be fine.
But we'll be okay. Like, we'll figure it out. And
right.
They may regret trading him, but to get all those first round picks to add, I mean, you got to. We talked about Nick Bolton. This Karlaftis, this rookie who's, you know, he was playing water polo in Greece less than a decade ago. He's a first round pick out of Purdue. He's been amazing this training camp. And he's a rookie, and he's
that's another thing for the case with them. Like, you have that one good draft heading into the next season on top of the talent. It seems like they crushed a draft.
They crushed a draft every year. And Brett Veach runs one of the best front offices. Yeah. And it's like, you add Karlaftis, you add McDuffie, the corner that they got out of Washington. They've got players. Pacheco's going to play a role. Sky Moore's going to play a role. And my whole point is like, this is not one of those deals where Mahomes is going to feel like his hand is tied behind his back. They love Tyreek, and to a man, everyone in that building wishes nothing but the best for him. But
yeah,
he wanted $30 million. They weren't going to be paying him that, and he turns 30 soon. They weren't going to, you know.
And you could argue they're cutting their losses at the absolute perfect time.
Is Tyreek Hill going to be better this year? I don't know. I would imagine.
Yeah,
it's a long shot to say he's going to put up better numbers and be a better player with the Miami Dolphins than he was with the Chiefs.
Okay, we're aligned.